Welcome, everyone, to a new episode of the Dolphin Chronicles. I am Byron, also known as a super producer, pinch hitting for Johnny today. I'm here with my boy Alex. How are you today?
I'm doing good. Look at that. We get to see the super producer's pretty face stepping in. That a boy. That's what I love to see, baby. Teamwork makes the dream work. I'm doing good. Guys, I just had a phenomenal chicken sandwich. If you're ever in the DFW area, in Highland Park specifically, come to see Heidi, my wife, at Chips in Lover's Lane. Chips Hamburgers, best burger in town. I happen to have a chicken sandwich today. It was phenomenal. Yeah, shameless plug.
All right. So,
There we go.
check them out. All right. Big week of action. The Finns played on Monday night. You had a topsy-turvy Sunday night game. But before we get into any of that,
I like it. Topsy-turvy. Yeah. Great term. Yeah.
Before we get any of that, let's go ahead and get to our scoreboard, all right?
The Dolphin Chronicles! Scoreboard!
Alex, take it away.
You want me to kick it off? All right.
You got all of the scoreboard. You got this, bro.
All right. So the freaking other Monday night game, because the Dolphins and the Jets were the important one. Broncos, Bo Nix and company over the Joe Burrow-less Bengals, and 28-3. That wasn't even close. Bo Nix looked great. Packers and Cowboys, a Sunday night abomination tie. This professional game. Yeah, the topsy-turvy game. You know, the number one ranked offense, the Cowboys, and they're also the dead last number 32 ranked defense. And the Packers didn't look much better. So 40-40, Dak Prescott and Jordan Love, and a little bit of a shootout. Romeo Doubs had 3 touchdown receptions. So pretty, it was a fun game. I hate that it ended in a tie, but 40-40. That's what it was. Of course, our Dolphins, albeit at the expense of our most prolific offensive weapon, but we came out with the victory 27-21. We almost shit the bed again late. We needed a Darren Waller recovery. Yes, that Darren Waller, who also had 2 touchdown receptions. 27-21, the Finns in their rivalry gear pull out the first win of the season. Bears 25, Raiders 24. Another freaking missed or blocked, shanked field goal at the end of regulation. The Bears hang on, 25-24. All right, some more. The Ravens not looking so good, and now with Lamar out, I don't know. Chiefs all over the Ravens, 37-20. The Colts lose to the Rams. Matthew Stafford, 27-20. Chargers don't look so hot against Jackson Dart in his debut. 21-18, Giants prevail. Jaguars defense force a shit ton of turnovers. 26-21 over the Niners. Eagles remain unbeaten, 31-25 over Baker and the Buccaneers. The Saints, they gave the Bills a little bit of a run for their money, but the Bills remain perfect. They pulled away late. Josh Allen, big time scramble on third down to extend the drive, kind of was the dagger. 31-19, Bills over the Saints. Browns, they're now starting Dylan Gabriel because of this. 34-10, the Lions all over the Browns. Commanders, Mariota could not continue his magic. Michael Penix and the gang getting Kyle Pitts involved and everybody. 34-27 over the Commanders. And the Steelers in Dublin, idling. 24-21 over the Vikes. Okay, the Dolphins' next opponent, the Carolina Panthers, didn't show up against Drake May and the Pats. 42-13, Drake May and the Patriots over the Panthers. The Titans remain winless as the Texans wax that ass 26-0. Seahawks looking pretty good with Sam Darnold under center. They beat the Cardinals 23-20.
Yep, and that wraps up our scoreboard. Like we mentioned before, Finns played on Monday night. One of 2 games, but we're going to go ahead and get into that discussion.
The Dolphin Chronicles Game Analysis.
All right, let's analyze the game, shall we?
Yeah, Dolphins win 27-21. We'll take this in pieces. Tua, 17 to 25, 177, 2 touchdowns. Thoughts on his performance?
Effective, error-free, did what he had to do within the game plan. Missed on a few throws, but looked a little bit more like Tua from a couple years ago when he led the league in passing. So I like what I saw from him. I almost died when he scrambled and slid a little bit late. I thought he was going to get decapitated, and that would have been terrible. But he made it. Got up laughing. Was that a Mawanoa that slid and that hit him from the Jets, like the Mawanoa?
I have no idea, to be honest.
I think it was. So his fellow Samoan brother, okay, almost took off his freaking head. But no, I think Tua did well, man. I think Tua did well. You saw him scramble, make a few plays. That fourth down throw to Darren Waller. You gotta like the praise from Brian Dable. I don't know the exact quote, but he said something along the lines of, "There's guys that in the league that have the door accuracy. There's guys that can put it in a window. There's guys that can put it on a doorknob. Tua's a guy that can put it in a keyhole." Was something along those lines.
Was that 3 seasons ago?
Huh? No, that was what Brian Dable said about Tua.
About 3 seasons ago. I remember that quote.
Well, I don't know. I guess it resurfaced, but that was a great touch pass to Waller. So you saw some flashes of the Tua that we got used to with that prolific offense and those weapons. The little flare with the behind the back flip to Malik. So I like what I saw from him. Was it like fantasy freaking performance of the week? No, but he did what he had to do within the game plan. I think we executed the game plan well. I think McDaniel, with the exception of the last few drives, I think called a very good game. So yeah,
I have tempered outlook on his performance. I get shades of Adam Gase and Ryan Tannehill. The reason is Tannehill couldn't throw deep because Tannehill couldn't hit the broadside of a barn when throwing the deep pass. So everything Adam Gase threw was short, except Tannehill was very inefficient. Tua, in the same way, everything is going to be short, but he is efficient. I just don't know how long it can last with putting these things on film and teams basically now, especially with Tyreek out, basically daring you to throw deep. You may see a lot of cover zeros, a lot of cover ones, a lot of where they're basically saying, I dare you to throw deep. Tannehill, inaccurate deep. Tua doesn't have the arm. Either way, neither are getting the ball deep, except one is a lot better at getting it short than the other. Like I said, I don't know how long you can keep this up efficiently.
Yeah, you make a good point, man. We all know Tua's shortcomings. Yeah, despite a few throws here and there that you can pick out from some games, his inability to throw the ball deep can be an issue, especially when you have or had the fastest guy in the league on your team, right? You still have some speedsters. You still got a Waddle out there. You still got Achane, who we forget is a fantastic receiver. Hopefully we continue to get some production and he continues to get even healthier. Darren Waller. The Dolphins are reuniting with Cedric Wilson, which I like. Obviously, he's got some familiarity with the offense and with Tua Tagovailoa. But I'm not ready to rule that out as a successful operation. I think that can still work. You see what happens when there's some misdirection. There's the threat of the run. You have when you've been running the ball efficiently, like the Dolphins did. They stuck to it. It was a balanced attack. You saw what opened up. Those really easy freaking dump passes to either a Julian Hill, a Darren Waller, or a Malik Washington, or a Jalen Waddle, whoever you want to bring across. You see what happens. All you need is the defense to shift a little bit that way, and bam, the respect to run a little bit, and then a lot of the rest of the playbook opens up. So that's what it's going to take to win some football games. As our defense continues to kind of work together and feel each other out, then I'm okay with that, right? I'm okay with that because ultimately in a playoff game against a playoff caliber team, there a lot of the times they're not going to be shootouts, right? It's going to be close ball games where defenses come and make a play or special teams does something.
So I'll ask you a question. How hard is it to score in the NFL in the red zone?
Well, I mean, because there's so much a little, you're kind of limited, right? Because there's limited space. So I think it becomes harder to score in the red zone.
That's exactly that. You're 100% right. That's exactly the point.
Right. It's less of the field, obviously, that you're working with. Yeah.
Correct. Now.
Yes, but
imagine.
Hold on, because along those same lines, that's look what Darren Waller did in the red zone, right? Those 2 targets, 2 receptions, 2 touchdowns. That's why you guys. That's what you get. That's why you get guys
Waller,
like him.
Forget Darren Waller. Forget the red zone. What I wanted was. Listen, what I wanted was the fact that it's hard to score in the red zone because of exactly the reason you said. It's compressed space, compressed field. You're playing within a box.
Yeah.
Here's my problem. The Dolphins, even if they're on their own 20, are still playing in the red zone. They are playing within a 20-yard box because that's as far as your offense can go. You can't throw open. You can't pop the top open on the defense because you don't have a threat.
I don't think that's completely ruled out anymore. Let's remember what Jalen Waddle did. That other time that Tyreek missed a game. The following game, Jalen Waddle stepped up, had over 140 yards receiving at a touchdown. So you still have guys that can take the top off of a defense. Whether Tua can make those throws. What's that?
It's just not being called anymore. I feel that Joe Rose's comments last week said Mike isn't going to make Tua do something he's not good at. And I don't think that's just going to be called anymore, which is why I think that even with 60, 70, 80 yards in front of them, they're going to constantly be playing in a red zone because the defense doesn't have to respect that. So you're going to have all 11 guys within a 20-yard box. And what that does is it makes windows that were maybe this big, and it's harder to get that offense going into rhythm because you're playing into the teeth of the defense as opposed to having these holes in defensive scheme.
I mean, yes and no. You're still going to get your one-on-one matchups where you're going to have guys that can beat their defender one-on-one. That's still gonna present itself. If you continue to run the ball effectively, you're still gonna have matchups that are favorable where you'll be able to still hit something over the middle or hit a deep post or a sideline route or something like that. Obviously Tua's not the guy to heave a ball downfield on a broken play. He's not going to do that's not your guy. That's not part of his skill set. But I still think you got enough playmakers on this team, like the Waddles, like the Achans, like the Maliks, that can still make a difference. And even if you're not throwing the ball 40 yards downfield, you can still get big chunk plays.
Now, I think you're right. I think that is the one saving grace. Monday night, HN had 20 carries, which is good to see the amount of carries he had.
Yeah.
20 carries, 99 yards. He averaged about 5 yards a carry.
Yeah.
20 carries, though, came at the expense of his receiving game, as he only had 1 catch for 2 yards. But I think that is a saving grace for this offense. The fact that if you can run the ball effectively, it does so many things for your offense. It
Yeah, you're still
saves the
gonna
offensive line.
you're
It
gonna have
saves
you
your
still
quarterback.
yeah. You have an Ollie Gordon that's still continuing to develop and continuing to grow. I think he's gonna be an integral part of this offense and this running game. Look, you have a good I think you have a good fit now to replace Daniels with Cole Strange. I thought he played well last night in replacing James Daniels. Um, so that's I still, like I said, I still think you got enough playmakers and enough firepower in the backfield to still have chunk plays and get your playmakers out in space.
Okay, so before the injury, Hill was on his way to have a really good game. He had 6
Yeah.
catches, 67 yards, caught all of his targets. Waddle had 3 catches, 48 yards. And the big contributor, Darren Waller, 3 catches, 27 yards, 2 of those touchdowns. I had a hot take last week. I said 1 catch, 3 yards. I was right.
Yeah.
If you take the touchdowns away, he had 1 catch.
No, you were absolutely wrong because you were assuming he wasn't going to contribute whatsoever, and he caught 2 fucking touchdown passes.
Okay, but he still had 1 catch.
I was, and you can call me out if I'm bullshitting because I know I'm not. I was a big advocate for Darren Waller.
Yes, you were. Yeah.
I knew that he would make a difference if it's the Darren Waller, even a little bit, a small percentage of what he was in 2024, 23 with the Raiders, which by the way, Frank Smith was on that staff. Okay.
Well, that's who got him to come out of retirement.
Yes. So he was excited to be there. He was excited to contribute. Man, if he stays healthy, that's huge. That's huge.
Well,
that I don't know if it makes up for us releasing Cam Smith.
The one thing Darren Waller does give Tua close to the end zone is the fact that Tua has the ability now to throw a contested ball and have some confidence that his guy is going to come down with it. Mark, False Nine co-host, False Nine guru, the man behind False Nine, is always banging the table for a big receiver. He's a big, believer in that, and I think that Waller being a big body allows Tua to, if it's not there perfectly with whatever route he's trying to throw, he can always throw a contested ball, and Darren Waller has a chance to come down with it.
Yeah. This is why I was so excited. I'm a huge advocate for a big receiver too, a big body. Right. That's when I was so excited when they brought in Chase Claypool. I was like, man, if that works, that's awesome. Remember when we brought in Chase Claypool?
And all they did was have him block?
I know. I was kind of frustrated because I think there was something there. I think there was enough talent for him to be used effectively in this offense. But either way, I'm not a talent evaluator. I'm not an offensive coordinator. I'm not a wide receivers coach. But it was a shame that didn't work out. But I was also a huge advocate for a big body. That's why we brought in the Jonnu Smith, right? Leading, tight end with the most yards after catch, right?
Yeah.
And look what Jonnu was able to do last year for us, man. Now he's not even an afterthought in Pittsburgh. I don't even think they called his name Sunday morning. So this offense. A tight end like Waller can thrive in this type of offense, man. And you saw a small glimpse of it on Monday night, and I'm excited.
Yep. One small deficiency was our inability to convert on third down. Dolphins went 4 for 12, 33%. Absolutely have to improve. They had a total of 300 yards on offense, which in 1992 would have been absolutely amazing. But it got the job done. On
Monday we actually got outgained.
Yeah, by over 100 yards.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so the good thing is that the offensive line gave up 0 sacks for the second straight game. So
Yeah,
keep you
that's
to a
huge.
clean, keep you to a upright.
Again, kudos to Aaron Brewer, Cole Strange. Who was that right tackle? Was it Keon?
Probably.
Keon Smith, obviously Patrick Paul and Jonah Salvinea, whatever. Yeah,
Although
I
he's
think they.
struggling.
Yeah, he is struggling. He is struggling. But yeah, I mean that's comforting, man. It's good. It's good to hear. That's exciting that we're keeping him upright. Very very important. If we're gonna make any sort of a run and string together a couple wins, the play of the offensive line is going to have to be huge because let's be honest, we're not getting a lot from our defensive line. We're getting
Well,
gouged.
that's a
Yeah,
great segue.
yeah,
Um, Offense to defense. Defense gave up terrible against the run. 28
well over
carries,
100 yards.
sir. 28 carries, 197 yards rushing.
Yeah,
They were
damn near
giving up
200. Wow,
7 yards a carry.
unacceptable.
The difference was they were able to force 3 turnovers, 3 fumbles.
Yeah,
You know, Jack Jones and we have here. This was the big one with the
there's a
Jets
touchdown.
going in. Yeah, the Jets going in to score.
Braylon Allen.
We were able to keep them out of the end zone and kind of keep the momentum that was slipping away. We were able to get right back with that turnover, and we'll play it now. Oh, sorry, end of the play. Here we go. Allen on the carry, and Jack Jones
Boom.
right there. Tell me what
Wow,
you saw, Alex.
fist on football, man. That's textbook. That's how you teach it. Either that or helmet right on the football.
Who does that remind you of?
Huh?
Who does that remind you of?
Javon Holland?
Nah, man. The originator. But yes, you're absolutely right. That was eerily similar to Javon Holland
Remember?
of Travis Etienne. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, man,
But who was
just
the
huge.
originator of that? Do you know?
It's a dolphin or no?
bear.
It was a bear. Urlacher or no? What's that other that safety that was always getting picks, dude?
Peanut Tillman.
Oh no, that wasn't my guess.
He's the guy who made it cool again to punch the ball out.
Hey,
Never went for the tackle, just went for punches.
That's great, man. That's great. What a great play, because that was 6 for sure. And then at that point you're playing from behind, right? This you want to play with the lead, right? So you can continue to have a balanced attack and continue to stick to the run. So that was huge, man, in so many ways. Obviously, the first turnover that the defense had forced all season, right? Minka on the recovery, just great. I can't say enough about it, man. It definitely shifted the momentum. Whatever momentum they had built, because they were just freaking marching right down the field, and then bam. So you gotta tip your cap to Jack Jones there.
Yeah, you mentioned the balanced attack. We had 25 pass plays compared to 31 rush plays. Mike McDaniel, credit to him, he stuck with the run even when the run wasn't working, and it paid dividends. And I think that it should be done more often because of everything it does. One, for the offensive line, it keeps them engaged, and two, it just saves your defense, and it gives you the ability to go off of play action, to go off of misdirection. But not only that, even when it doesn't work, it's effective.
Even the threat of the run,
correct, yes.
can present a nice little opening and a nice little wrinkle, open up another page of the playbook, just having the threat of the run.
Right, and it's effective. The Dolphins are averaging 4.7 yards per rush. which is
Yeah.
8th in the league.
I sent that. Yeah.
The
8th in the league.
problem is that they have the second lowest rush attempts in the league. So you're good at it, but you don't do it. And I think that absolutely goes to coaching. Not just McDaniel. I'm talking about the entire staff, from analytics down all the way to the top to McDaniel's. Because if analytics is telling you 4.7 yards a rush, you're 8th in the league, and you have the second lowest rush attempts, I think that's a disservice to your offensive line, a disservice to your quarterback, a disservice to your defense, a disservice to the entire team.
Yeah.
And I think that they need to stick with the run moving forward.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that could be partly to attributed to, I think McDaniel doesn't see Achan as a bruiser, kind of between the tackles guy, which is why I was gonna say that. Yeah, which is why you have an Ollie Gordon. I mean, make Ollie Gordon, your first down back, right? Hey, get 3-4 yards on first down. All of a sudden,
the third wide receiver.
Yeah, man. And then how much easier is a 2nd and 6 than a 2nd and 11, or playing behind the sticks? When you get tackled behind the line of scrimmage, or get So I think that's what's going on. He's kind of juggling between that. Like, hey, do I give Achan all those touches and risk getting him hurt again? Because Achan is not a big dude.
I mean, 20 carries is substantial.
Yeah, it is substantial. You're right. I mean, that's lead back, volume, right? So, but yeah, man, I hope that he continues to utilize Gordon, and Gordon continues to grow. And I don't know what the status of Jalen Wright is and his health, but that's another guy that you can throw in the mix. Engold, I haven't seen a whole lot of Engold. Right, I'd like to see him more. I think he's a huge asset to, in when it comes to blocking. But I'd love to see him, carry the ball and have a few, receptions too. Get him incorporated. I think Alec Engold is good enough to where he can contribute more to this offense. But yeah, man. I don't know. We were talking about what, defense again, or
okay. So Jets dropped to 0-4. Dolphins go to 1-3. They have Chargers, Browns, Falcons, and Ravens.
After Carolina.
Well, after Carolina. We'll speak about Carolina now. After Carolina, they have Chargers, Browns, Falcons, and Ravens. Good luck, but bad luck for us. Lamar Jackson hurt, but guess what game he's going to come back for?
He's slated to come back for the Dolphins game. Yeah. But it's a hamstring injury, right? And they still got a lot of guys that are hurt on defense. You saw how vulnerable their defense is. A lot of holes in their defense. And now the pressure's on them, right? They've, you got Derrick Henry, who's been, a fumbling machine. You got Lamar Jackson, who hasn't been as prolific as people have expected him to, and now he's dealing with a hamstring injury. Regardless of how much, whether he comes back for that Dolphins game or not, he's probably still hesitant to take off on it a whole lot. He might resort to just kind of being more in the pocket. So I don't know, man. I hate to speculate, but that's down the line. But you have very winnable games ahead of you. You have an Atlanta team that's. Go ahead.
I was going to ask you odds of the Dolphins being 4-4 by the time when they get to the Ravens.
I think that's extremely realistic. You got a Carolina team who's struggling to find an identity. You got a coach in Canales that's on the hot seat. You got a quarterback that did well at the end of last season, but seems to be kind of falling off a little bit again. You got it's a team that's looking for an identity. They don't have one. Right, then you got a Chargers team who's dealing with a ton of injuries. They looked bad. They looked injuries on the offensive line.
They lost Slater and they lost Joe Alt as well.
Yeah, with the high ankle sprain or whatever it is that he's got. So that's half of their line right there, dude. And Herbert's got a great arm, and he's got some great weapons in McConkey and Keenan Allen, and
Hampton,
Marion Hampton, and what's the other guy who's been playing well, their other receiver,
Williams.
Quentin Johnston, is it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they have some weapons, and they have a great coach. We know what Jim Harbaugh can do, and he knows how to get his guys prepared. And that's a team that's going to be hungry after that fucking dud against the Giants. So, I'm sure they'll be looking to free agency and looking to kind of fill that void in the offensive line. But yeah, that's also a team that could be on the ropes when it comes to injuries. So you have an opportunity if you play well and you don't hurt yourself, which they didn't do against the Jets. I don't think they got penalized very much against the Jets.
I'd have to look that up.
I know the Jets were freaking, getting penalized left and right. A lot of just really bad mistakes by the Jets, but the Dolphins, I don't think, hurt themselves very much against New York. And if you continue to play clean like that in complimentary football, then you do have a really good chance of being 4-4. And
okay, so the Dolphins had 6 penalties for 40 yards, but in comparison to the Jets, 13 penalties for 101.
Yeah. So I mean, the Dolphins still have some things that they need to clean up for sure, right? But you like what you saw from the defense, right? They finally forced some turnovers, right? You like what you saw from the offense. There was a little bit of that wrinkle, of that flair again, right? You have a red zone threat like Darren Waller that people have to game plan for. You're still going to have to scheme for that guy. You're still going to have to game plan for him because he's a big body and he can catch the football like he showed everyone on Monday night, right? And then you're going to have, you still have your speedsters. You still have the guys who can take the top off of defense like Jalen Waddle. You still have your gadget guys like Malik Washington. You have fucking Achane that looked like Barry Sanders in that damn touchdown run that he had, or touchdown reception that he had. I forget what it was. It was down in the red zone, but he looked good, man, breaking tackles, cutting back, and he's shifty, right? This is a guy who can be a game breaker. So you have a very good chance to right the ship and continue going in the right direction. And like you said, potentially being 4-4, facing a Baltimore Ravens team.
Yeah, that's kind of what I want to see against Carolina. I want to see both sides of the ball build upon some of the things they did.
Look, I think the spread early on is like 1.5. Miami minus 1.5, but Carolina should not hang with the freaking Dolphins. They really shouldn't. I mean, I don't think so. In my opinion, I don't think Carolina should hang with the Dolphins.
Here's the thing. I have no faith in anything this team does in them doing it consistently. They're just so Jekyll and Hyde, so hot and cold.
But one thing they are consistent at is beating the bad teams.
Inconsistent?
No, one thing they've been consistently doing is beating bad teams, and Carolina's a bad team. They should beat Carolina. Okay? You beat Carolina, you're 2-3, and you're going up against a Chargers team that's depleted.
Okay, so I just really what I want to see is the offense continue to run that football, continue to give yourself a chance to create off of that run game, and that defense to keep shooting for those turnovers. But at some point, you're gonna have to shore up that run game. The rookies aren't coming along as good as we expected on the D-line. The rookies aren't coming along as good as we expected on the D-line. Kenneth Grant isn't playing well. Not. Zeke Biggers isn't playing well.
Zeke Biggers was inactive Monday night.
Right, but I'm talking about the games before.
Zealer showed up I think he had like 1 sack or 1 tackle for loss or something. But
and who's the other guy? Jordan Phillips, another guy who's just not. Yeah, we gotta get that. Anthony Weaver has to get that run game shored up. But I like the turnovers that they've created. Just some news and notes. Alex mentioned before the Tyreek Hill injury, dislocated knee, along with a shit ton of torn ligaments. They have already ruled him out.
ACL, LCL, probably.
ACL, alphabet soup of L's.
Yeah, VHS, DVD, CD-ROM. He tore them all. But hey, Drew Rosenhaus said that there was no loss of blood flow. There was no secondary surgery needed. I mean, that's promising. Again, that's coming from his agent, who's going to be a big advocate for his client. He says he's going to be ready for next season. That's crazy to think.
That's great. I'm glad he's going to be ready to play for whoever's roster he's on. His contract, the way his contract is structured, he'll be cut before March.
Yeah, because if not, they got to pay him a roster bonus. Yeah,
a roster, and his money becomes guaranteed at that point. But as Alex mentioned before, Cedric Wilson signed off the Saints practice squad. Familiar with the offense, familiar with the system.
Yeah,
as we know that's really important with Tua, as he tends to throw to spots and not receivers.
Yeah,
and
one of the best in the league in doing it. Yep.
Yeah, and then Cam Smith, former second-round pick, was waived off of the injured some list.
Not in football. We screwed up a second-round pick list.
Yes,
that's the list. That's the list you get. Yeah, and Johnny, if you're listening, Bobby, I remember you telling me on draft night, "Hey, Alex, calm down. That's a good pick. That guy's good." Told you this guy was trash, bro. Told you he was trash from day one. The day the freaking commissioner read that card, I said, "This guy is hot garbage."
That's rude to do it on the day he's not here.
I told him in the chat, I love him to death, but I knew this guy was tremenda mierda. And look, we wasted. Anyways, go ahead. I don't want to dwell on that anymore.
We'll get to now. We're gonna get to our fantasy players of the week.
Dolphin Chronicles. Play of the week.
I guess we'll do play of the week. Play of the week was,
according to that graphic, the play of the week is what's supposed to be coming up.
Yeah. So
Douglas again on the coverage. Ball, does he have control
Garrett
of it? It's
great,
moving.
Great coverage by Rasul Douglas. You can't ask for better coverage.
No, excellent job there.
I still don't think he got that foot down. I think it was on the white a little bit, but whatever.
Inconclusive, indisputable evidence, and it just wasn't there. Great play. As you can see, we are not necessarily homers. When there's a great play, we point it out. Give credit where credit is due.
Tip your cap. That young man is a stud wide receiver. Obviously, they were talking about it on the broadcast. They need to get him the ball more. It is imperative to get that young man the ball. He's a playmaker. He's like 125 soaking wet with a bag of nickels tied to his ankles because he is itty bitty. But he is good. He can catch the football, he can high point it, he can go up there and get it.
And then now to the other side of the coin, and we'll probably spend some time discussing this one.
Dolphin Chronicles, do-not play of the week.
Let's see it.
Jones down the sideline, one-on-one. Oh, what a catch! Adonai Mitchell down the sideline, turning on the speed, and a little stiff arm ushering into the end zone for a Colts touchdown.
But
did he lose the ball going out of the end zone before he crossed the goal line?
That he did, my friend.
He knew it
if
too.
He did, what it's going to negate one of the better plays you'll have seen this year. That was an outstanding effort by Adonai Mitchell. And the way that he went after the football, I think it may have come out early.
He sticks it out, and it slips out of his hand. Unbelievable.
Ruling on the field is the ball was loose.
Ball was loose.
The goal line, it went in and out of the end zone. The result of the play is a touchback.
So you go from scoring a touchdown to giving the ball up on a tremendous play that you should have finished and didn't.
Man, you kind of feel for the guy because it's not like he was doing it to showboat. I think he was just switching hands.
No,
I mean,
because he was going to celebrate.
Well, but before he went to celebrate, it looks like he was just, I don't know. You feel bad for him. Clearly not enough stick 'em on those gloves because they didn't stick. And he did what the FSU player did, except he didn't catch it. He bobbled that thing. Remember the
Yes, but
oh man! So
who's the originator of letting it go at the 1 yard line?
Letting
a few guys have done it.
Yeah, I mean there was a college kid that did it.
That's the one that I'm talking about. The originator.
Who is that? Who was the name? What was the name of the young man?
I know it was in Oregon State, and I don't know if it was Chad or TJ Hujimazili.
Huzmanzada? I don't think it was TJ Huzmanzada.
I have God now.
Now it's gonna bother you.
Look it up, but that's the originator, and I want to say Deshaun Jackson did it too.
Deshaun Jackson, that sounds about right because he's good at showboating. He was good though, man. He was good. He was a threat whenever they kicked the ball to him. He's no Devin Hester, but he was good. So yeah, man, you kind of feel for him. That kind of sucks because that definitely was a difference in the game. Didn't they lose by 7? 27-20?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a difference in the
game. How about that one? It was not Oregon State, it was Oregon. And it was hold on, I want to make sure. Was it Deshaun Jackson?
No, he didn't play for Oregon.
No, he played for Cal.
Either way, it stinks, man. If any youth football players are on here watching, don't do that, man. Just hold on to the ball.
Don't do that.
Wait till you cross the freaking goal line before you start to plan out your celebration. But that's the thing. These celebrations now are so...
I'm sorry. It says Oregon college football player pulls the Deshaun Jackson, drops the ball at the 1. So it was Deshaun. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that sounds right. But yeah, man, I mean, these celebrations now are so elaborate and they include so many teammates that they're almost thinking about that before you even cross the goal line. Just hold on to the football, man. Either that or just wear gloves with a lot of stickum so it doesn't fall out of your hands. Cool? All right.
Yeah, I think that's the lesson learned. So
lesson learned.
Yeah. Now we'll go to our fantasy players of the week.
Dolphin Chronicles Fantasy Football Players of the Week.
You would think it's somebody from that freaking Dallas and Green Bay game.
Actually, the biggest score did not come from that game. The biggest score,
Puka Nacua. That's right. I had him on one of my fantasy teams.
36 points, 13 catches, 170 yards, a touchdown, 15. He caught 13 of 15 targets. Just a monster day.
Dude, that's what Devontae Adams over there on the opposite side. How about that, dude? Puka Nacua.
You know who the second biggest score this week was?
Romeo Dobbs, Dak Prescott, Jordan Love,
Ashton Genty.
Oh, Ashton did have 160 some odd yards rushing, right?
And 2 touchdowns.
And 2 tutties. Yeah, he had that big 64-yard run. Good for Ashton, man. He's I like that kid. I like that kid. I hope he comes into his own. I hope he does well in that offense. Geno Smith needs to get it together. That guy's been turning the ball over like a madman.
Yeah. So, shot as to who you think the Dolphins' biggest fantasy scorer was this week.
I mean, if he would have had a few more yards, maybe a Darren Waller, but I'm still going to go. No, Devon Achane still.
Yeah, that's who your call?
I mean, let's see. He had how many? He had probably close to 100 all-purpose yards and a touchdown. So,
0.6 of a point.
Waller beat him out.
Achane had 17.1 fantasy points.
Ah, okay. So I knew it was between those two. Good for Darren, man. Good for Darren. Hey, you got his rap song? You want to put his rap song video?
No, that's terrible. Stop.
Let's put it on. Come on.
It's terrible. My God.
It's growing on me a little bit.
Why? It's a terrible song.
I don't know, but his teeth are so white. You almost have to pay attention to the song.
He's in freaking underwear.
He's not in underwear because I would not be watching Darren Waller's video if he was in underwear. He does
It
not
looks like
have a
he's in
shirt on,
freaking underwear.
but you can't tell because he's got tattoos everywhere, so it just looks like he has a shirt on.
All right. Give me a second here. I'll put that up right now.
Just a quick little snippet of it so people can, kind of start jamming to it. They got a scheme for me. Forget what he says. He's not a great rapper, but the song is
something.
But and it's outside Allegiant Stadium. But he's got,
Oh yeah, it is Allegiant.
Yeah, so he's got some, some bars on there that are interesting.
All right, here we go. A little something.
Play, gotta put this shit on Sports Center. We gon' stick a fork in them, get it done. We not fazed, they don't wanna go to war. Niggas jumping off the porch, try and get them one. The block crazy, make me wanna get the Glock and keep it all safe. Jesus watch over my path, let me walk safely. Cause they killing shit for sport, and they looking for a target, I'm the biggest one.
He was the biggest target in the red zone. That a boy, Darren!
So, I think a little bit of a troll job there. Being outside of Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas and
with an Oakland A's.
Yeah, a little bit of a troll job. Excellent troll job by him. Excellent job.
Yeah. We like Darren. So does John Gruden. And he Dolphins Twitter owes that man an apology because we all thought he was
that man an apology.
We thought he was going to pull up. Yeah, we thought he was going to pull an OBJ and a freaking Robbie Anderson and a Kenny Stills. Instead, he went out there and balled out. Let's go, Darren.
All right, man. That concludes our show for this week. Anything you have before we get out of here?
We don't have updated freaking fantasy
Not yet. You've been slacking on it a little bit. I will get that out this week.
I went 3-0 with my picks. With my picks this last time. 3-0.
I have them on record.
And I got bottom of the barrel. I was like the third one to pick, and I couldn't pick the same games unless I picked the opponents.
I was last.
Whatever, dude. Whatever. I'm still the man. I'm not gonna be humiliated. 3-0, baby. I took Pitt in Dublin. I took the Falcons over the Commanders, right? Yeah, that was another one and then I took the Dolphins over the Jets. Let's go, baby.
All
so
right.
What up?
3-0. I'll get updated.
Gotta update the graphic. You know why he doesn't want to update the graphic? Because he's not winning. That's why he doesn't want to update the graphic.
Actually, the leader in the clubhouse was Johnny. I don't know if he's the leader in the clubhouse now, but
we shall see. I think it's a good little race we have going on. A good little race.
Yeah, I think it's tight. I think it's gonna be tight the entire way. For everyone here at Kendall Sports Network, thank you for tuning in. We got Heat Check that's going to start now as soon as preseason NBA starts.
Duran Butler, our boy Duran, is looking to live stream while the game is on, the preseason game, October 6th, Heat and Magic.
Yes.
And I might hop on that stream, baby. I'm excited about the Heat. Here we go.
Yes. We got False 9 coming up this week, tomorrow or Thursday with our boy Mark. And we will be on next week after the Dolphins play Carolina. Alex, where can they find you?
And I think we should do a rebrand on This Week in Miami. Clearly, weekly shows for This Week in Miami with all the stuff that's been going on is a little crazy. Maybe we were a little overzealous on that. But I think there's a rebrand coming. We're excited about the Marlins and the future of that squad. You saw what they did at the end of the year. Real pumped.
I'm super happy about that.
Real pumped for the Fish. Your boy Peter Bendix was actually onto something, okay? And we were freaking beating this guy.
No, he wasn't.
Kicking this guy in the balls.
Everybody on that squad was a
trade acquisition. Part of a
It was Kim Eng who got most of those guys.
Okay, we like Kim. Bring Kim back. But yes, we more to come on that. I'm excited about that young squad. They look great. But yes, you guys can find me on X, okay? Mr. TSB, TX_TSB.
Yes.
That's me.
Yes. Find me here on Twitter at Paramount Pete. thank you for joining us, and we'll see you guys next week. Have a good one, guys.
Peace.